Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. In the last episode, we found out what was going on, for reals though, in this land, and we got the rest of our quest to free all the divine beasts. Well, we haven't gotten that far yet, but we gotta seek out Impa, and eventually beat Ganon. That's pretty much it. So, yeah. Now, one thing I really want to talk about is people's problems with this game. Because I personally think that the problems that this game does have, now it does have some problems. I will not say that this is a game without flaw, but the problems it does have are far outweighed by the amount of good that is in this game, the amount of stuff you can do in this game. One thing about that. Hello? Hello. Yeah. One of that thing is weapon durability. People have a big problem with weapon durability in this game. As far as how it's arbitrary and how it really doesn't make much sense. Well, to me, it does make sense, and it's not perfect. Oh crap! Darn it! Darn it! Okay, so a thing here, another little tutorial thing, is that periodically you'll see adventurers like these guys, or travelers out in the world, and it's good to help them because usually. Yeah, they're treasure hunters. And they'll give you a little bit of some tips. Like how there's treasure in Hyrule Castle, but it's surrounded by guardians which are dangerous. And if you help them out and they're being attacked and you're quick enough, then you can actually get neat healing items from them, or like an elixir or something. But aside from that, that's all there really is to it. Now over here is a special shield that I'm gonna wait to get until later in the game. Just for I guess a personal reason. So we don't really need it. It's not that good of a shield, but it's a shield to have later in the game for a special purpose, and we'll get to that much later. Anyway, weapon system. The thing that I can see that bothers people is that you can't just use one weapon the whole time, and I think in not being able to use one weapon the whole time, it gives you an extra the extra incentive to go out and kill things and eventually get more weapons. Like, it gives you the incentive to use your weapons. Now this is an instance of a new enemy, the Moblin, that I kind of spoiled last time. And these guys are huge, and they have normally, most of the time, they will have larger weapons, like the club you saw there. And they do have a considerable amount of health, but they're less sneezy than the rest. No, they're less they're not as fast as the other one, as bokoblins. Yeah, and they have less, it's easier to get under them and stuff. And most of the time they'll have these modeling clubs that I'm using right now, and sometimes they'll have the Bogo bats as the first thing, and that's the two-handed weapon of the Bogo series of weapons. Which, I mean, it's an alright weapon, but it's not that good. It does have low durability, but how much attack does it have? 6? That's not bad for this part of the game. Let's use up our spear. Now this is going to be like our first really ruins area. Like this first part of the game, after you get out of the Great Plateau, even in the Great Plateau, it's very new player friendly, because all you have to do is just follow the path. That's all you have to do in order to get to Impa and Kakriko Village. So you don't have to really explore that much, and it's not really off the beaten path. It's really on the beaten path. Let's see what else. Another thing that people had problems with in this game was what I saw was the lack of music in this game. I think the amount of music that is presented in this game is just fine. Otherwise, by the way, here's Rusty Shield. Now that can be good for it's a cheap shield to have, but I'm not going to be picking one up because we already got plenty. But anyway, but yeah, people had a problem with the music, and I already said this before that there's not a whole lot of music in this game, but what little music there is, it does fit well with the atmosphere, and the fact that when you're in nature, you're not going to be hearing like a track of orchestral score. Now this over here is one of the EX books, which is part of the DLC. So he's going to tell you about Ancient Mask, Green Garments, Twilight Helmet, Armor, and that's it. Oh, so that's all. That's all the EX items, which are just really just outfits for the most part, and extra gear you can wear. Another thing that people had problems with of this game, it was the pacing of this game, and I can see that. Like, even though we did get the quest to, well, you gotta hurry up and go to Impa because there's such urgency. That urgency kind of gets killed with the fact that you're really exploring the world, and that there's not really any consequence for going around to every corner of Hyrule before you fight Ganon, and that is good and bad. Like, of course, you do need urgency in your quest, but I mean, not every game has to have super high intensity that you have to worry about everything you do. Oh crap. Okay, we're still fine. There we go. Okay, got that. Okay, good. We killed him. Not to worry. But yeah, not every quest needs to be, ooh, a first rupees. Needs to be high intensity and, oh, you need to save the princess after 5 days or something like that. Like, it's not that important. The real thing that's important about this game is that you explore and you just take in the world, is what I think anyway. And sure, that can be sure that can be beneficial. Not beneficial. That can be dull and boring, and you can just not like a game in general. Like, as it's fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and I don't have to like everything you like, and you don't have to like everything I like. Stop pushing that. Push it, push it. Ooh. Let's not use that. And let's use this. Yeah, there we go. No, mine. Get away. My prime meat. That's the next tier up of meat, is the prime meat. Let's use this. Okay, got it. Just one hit. Do we have any other weapons we can dispose of? We'll go back. Ow! Eye for an eye. Anyway, but yeah, just because you like a game that I don't like doesn't mean it's bad. Like, for instance, Lee is really into Rocket League. He loves Rocket League. I'm not so much into Rocket League. I can see that it's a good game. I can see that it's fun to some people. It's just not fun to me. I'd rather not play that game. Oh, nice. Hit him in the head. Let's use this. Screw it. There we go. You can also parry. That's a pretty good tactic. But yeah, talking about that, not liking everything, not liking every game that's out there, it's not important. I think people should focus less on what they think people want, of what people like, what other people like, and just focus on what you like. I think that's an important thing, for people to realize that you don't have to follow other people. You don't have to think what's cool is what other people think is cool. You can not like something your friends like, and like something your friends don't like. Anyway, I digress. Man, these Zelda games are like, there's a lot of like low moments in any Zelda game you play, but really, honestly, in any game you play, there are low moments and high intensity moments. Some games have more high intensity than other games. Oops, shoot. Let me get another shield. Oh, shoot. Okay, let's eat food. Ow! Darn it. Okay. So here's two more. That was an example of a high intensity moment, and now we're back at low intensity moments. Here's two more of our civilian items, the wood mop and the farming hoe, which are pretty good for this part of the game. They're not bad, but again, they do have lower durability than other weapons you can have at this point of the game, but they do have pretty good attack power. Our traveler's bow. We can get rid of a boko bow. Or get rid of that in case we need to fire an arrow at something that we don't want to waste a good bow on, then we can use that boko bow. That's what I normally like to do, is have some trash weapons that we don't have to worry about so much, so we can just use them up in case we want to just go ahead and go through things. Here's an example of a chest under one of these steel doors. Come on. I just need to move that one. Yeah, sure. Some opal. Not bad, not bad. Now, one thing I wonder is, where did these steel doors come from? Was it like another level up? And that just goes back to the whole thing of how I wish to see, like, all these buildings that are like torn down and have fallen apart, and like what this area looked like before it was all ruined. Maybe it was from this. Well, a thing about this tower is what use was it? Because it's all it's solid. It doesn't have like a thing in it. That's weird. This game's weird. Don't question it too much. Here's one like our first example of this kind of area. So we'll have the a standard setup for early game is that you have a cooking pot with a throwing spear, a torch, and a boko spear, with those guys over there, and surrounded by exploding barrels. That's really useful to use. It's really useful to take advantage of those exploding barrels, so you don't waste so much weaponry. We can get rid of a mop. Farming hoe is better than the mop. It's also a two-handed weapon, and it's like a woodcutter's axe, as it were. The farming hoe has the same thing, but the mop is more like a spear. In a weapon classification type thing. Ooh, another soldier's bow. That's really good. We can get rid of the... Oh. Get rid of that. Whatevs. Whatevs. Okay. I don't know what the two sorting functions do for the weapons. Maybe it's divided by type of weapon and strength of weapon. I think that's what it is. But that doesn't make any sense, because that's... I think if this type, then this is strength. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Shields are the same way. Armor is separated by type or set. So I like to keep it at divided by set. Just so it's easier to find like a whole set of something. Let's go bomb fishing. It's like the classic thing of throwing a stick of dynamite in a pond, or in a pond, and then having all the fish come up, belly up to the top. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about that shrine back there. Just kind of going that roundabout way. Oh crap! A couple things about the cryonis, the ice blocks, is that you can only have 3 in existence at a time, and when you have the third one, and you can also, when you get caught under one, it'll actually break over you, which are 2 important things to realize about it. And that's another nice little cache of rupees there. Now, whenever you see like blocks like that, actually, a lot of the time in these rivers, especially on this early river here, you'll run into a lot of chests in the water, like these wooden chests in the water. And it's best to get everything you can at this early stage. And always check if there are chests in the bottom of the lakes or whatever you're at. Wherever you're at, rather. You also find metal weapons this way, too. Yeah, so whenever you see, like, a formation like this over here, there's a Korok seed there. Or if you see, rocks in a circular form, there's a Korok seed there. They're just all little challenges that you have to... that you can complete in order to get a Korok seed. And again, Korok seeds are going to be used a little bit later. I think in the next few episodes. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Did I do that? Yes, I did. Ow. I should use a cheap bow. Oh, here. Here's a good thing to... Let me pick this guy up. A fun thing you can do with these stallable goblin heads, or any stall head. There's 3 types of stall. There's stall moblins and stall another thing. Is you can actually punt them into the water. That's really funny. If they get low enough, then they'll actually die. But if you don't, then you'll end up not. It won't end up dying. So with ore, this is ore example. See, you can use any two-handed weapon to get ore, and you'll get all the ores that we've seen so far. But the most effective weapon is, of course, the iron sledgehammer. I mean, it says in its description, large iron hammer originally used for mining. And that's the main thing you're going to want to use those for, is mining. Because they're extremely good at their job. Anyway. Didn't really need to skip that, but whatever. Yeah. Registering horses. Yeah, we're going to be doing that in the next few episodes. Maybe next time. Yeah, I think next time we'll be able to do that. Here's one. Now this trial here can be kind of hard to do if you're not good with the jumping and gliding mechanics. And the second bonus chest we can get here is kind of hard to get in the first place, so we're gonna want to hurry up and do that. Well, not hurry up and do that, but it's gonna be considerably harder than to get that chest, which was easy. Oh, I pressed the wrong buttons. Oh well. So yeah, it's not a big deal when you fall in a thing. We'll just lose like half a heart. You won't lose a whole heart, I don't think. So that chest right there is kind of hard to get. You have to run, jump, and then glide. And even sometimes you don't make it. One time I just barely made it. But it does have a soldier's claymore, which is a very useful weapon at this part of the game. And it'll be a very powerful weapon for a while, because you can see it's 20 right now. And we don't have really anything remotely near 20. But the farming node, which is 16, but doesn't really last that long. Which is a little unfortunate, but whatever. You just gotta deal with it. You can see this guy's in a different position, just holding his hoop. Then we get our 5th spirit orb. We still got a long way to go before we need to get we can get our 13 hearts. I believe it's no, what would it be? You need to get, well, that was for 15. I'll say 40, you need to get 40. So as soon as you exit out, like your first shrine, or you teleport after the Great Plateau, and you have the DLC installed, and you do get you get all the notifications for it. Have you heard there? That's another keys thing. Which is occasionally you'll find groups of keys. Yeah, there's one. You'll find groups of keys in the world. And the best way to deal with them is just throw a bomb into them, and then they'll all fly off. I've never, or a fun thing to do is to use a bomb arrow and do that. Well, I've never killed a whole swarm before, but it just gives you a whole bunch of drops of keys, which is nice. Oh, wow. Already? That there was a shooting star, and a shooting star is a rare item. It doesn't have that much use, but you can sell it for a pretty high price. Relatively high price, but I think if it didn't crash in the mountain there, then we would be able to see it now. That's a shame that you couldn't see it. We can get it, but oh well. You can see one of the divine beasts over there. That's Meadow. You can see one over there on the mountain. That's Rudania, I believe. We can talk to this guy. We're doomed. I mean, don't panic. Sorry. Who are you? Have we met? Well, it doesn't matter who you are, really. I was getting tired of talking to myself. So you come at a good time. By the by, see strange things. He's talking about the towers. And then he's talking about the shrines. And then he's talking about the guardians. But so, some of them, most of them don't move, but some of them do move, and some of them are just stuck there and attack you there. Your guardians still wander. Be careful. Okay. Whatevs. I think as a last thing, we are going to go ahead and get this. You know what? Oh, that's funny. It's always funny to use an explosion to kill a bunch of guys. Can't carry any more melee weapons. Whatever. Oh, sweet. I got a Poco shield. But anyway, I think on that note, we're going to go ahead and end it off here. So in the next episode, we're going to go ahead and continue on. Oh, I didn't get that. Oh well, whatever. It's not that important to get every Korok seed you find. Speaking of which, so yeah, I think after we get this Korok seed. So the thing with these, I didn't mention before when we did one on the Great Plateau, but you want to match the other pattern. So that gives you an example of you need 1 then 2, 1 then 2. So you just copy the same pattern on the other side. And there you go. That's all there is to it. Man, I just don't want to stop. See, that's the thing about this game. You see one extra thing. You see another thing that you can do, and you just go for it. Like, you see another piece of ore, and then you just like, oh, I gotta get that ore. Or like you see a hill that you want to climb. It's like, oh, just climb one more hill, and then we'll be. Then I'll turn off the game. Oh, there's something about this game that's just really satisfying, just to walk around and have a good time. So, on that note, I'm gonna go and see you guys next time, where we will do more stuff and get that tower over there. Well, you can't see it, but get that tower, go to the dueling peaks. So, I'll see you guys next time.